Hey, welcome back to video 8. We're drawing to a close here pretty quickly. There's just a couple other short videos after this. Um, so far what we've done is shown you the process of getting your video uploaded the right way, how you save your file with the keyword name, uploading it to YouTube in a private setting, using a tool like TubeRankJeet to stage everything and research your competition levels, and essentially have everything ready to go so that once you upload your video in the private mode, you can just populate all the right fields in YouTube, hit publish, and you saw within a half hour my stuff was ranking around number 5 just on YouTube, and then an hour later for a long tail keyword term on Google on page 3 already. So I'm hoping you're seeing the power of video, and that it doesn't necessarily take much from the local side to start to get some rankings. A lot of it is on-site optimization. If you get the on-site portion right, and you really treat it as sort of a mini website, each video should be viewed as sort of a mini website with good title tags and good supporting keywords and a good article essentially that has your LSI or related keywords, synonyms, so to speak, dropped in there, plus some additional, keyword. I wouldn't call it stuffing, because I wouldn't recommend adding, 20 or 50 additional keywords in there. But between the tags that you choose and then drop in a couple selective keywords here and there, in addition to your main keyword, you've got your on-site stuff pretty well covered. And at that point, before we ever went out and did anything else, I was already in the 4th or 5th position. And then we went out and I showed you some tactics, in step number 2, really, to go out and start the process of getting ranked in Google, which was setting up an OnlyWire account and submitting your newly uploaded video to OnlyWire so it can go out and get bookmarked on about 50 different sites. And again, sometimes that's all it takes to get ranked on Google. We saw that I got that one ranking on Google page 3 after we submitted the OnlyWire release for bookmarking not long after that. And sometimes that's all it will take. And then I showed you an additional trick of using Social Adder, where I would recommend that you use that as well, where real human beings with real accounts on bookmarking sites, on social sites, will bookmark your post for you, and you just get charged credits basically when that happens. And all these things are helping you rank in Google. And then in the next video, we dove in a little bit and talked about some of the factors that are going to increase the authority of your video and increase the authority of your channel over time, which in turn is going to help you rank well on Google. And the way that we did that was the next step, which is going out to Google AdWords and taking your video and buying some views. One of the strong social signals that YouTube uses is views. You have to have some views taking place, and if you don't get any views, you may still do okay without it, and you may still rank in Google just fine without it. But I strongly recommend always going out and buying some views, just for 2 or 3 days. Maybe get 1,000 views or something like that. It'll cost you maybe $5. Very, very easy to do. Takes 5 minutes to set up. Totally worth it, and will help. Typically will help drive your video up in YouTube, or even if it doesn't drive it up further in the results in YouTube, it will definitely help increase the authority of your video and your channel. The second part was video embeds. I told you to go over to Fiverr and just pick up some, a gig over there where somebody embeds your video on Web 2.0s. As an added bonus, I would recommend trying to find somebody who not only does that, but then also gives you a link. So remember, video embeds and links back to your video are a little bit different. One helps you with YouTube ranking, one helps you with Google ranking. So the embeds help you with YouTube ranking because it's a social signal essentially, whereas the link back to the site or to the video helps you rank on Google just like it would with a website. And I recommended that in general most of your stuff should be sort of naked links, the naked URL of your video, that are going back to the site. Now, that's with some exception, and I'm going to show you some of these exceptions in this video, how we take kind of more competitive videos and start to drive them up by actually using anchor text keywords or variations of anchor text keywords. So in this video, we're back to discussing the next step, which is essentially going out and getting your keywords placed on some high PR sites, whether that's a blog, whether it's a private blog network, you know, some high authority Web 2.0s. So if somebody has high authority Web 2.0s, and when I say high authority, I mean, you know, anybody can go set up a Web 2.0 on blogger.com, brand new, and add a couple articles, but it doesn't have any authority to it because it's brand new. You know, just like our video channel that we just uploaded today with one video doesn't really have any authority to it at this point. And I'm going to show you how to build up the authority in a video here very shortly of your channel. But what we're talking about here is how do we further the process of getting ranked on Google. Okay, so I want you to write all this down, but we'll also have it laid out in kind of a cheat sheet in terms of kind of step by step what to do, in what order, and what it affects and why. Okay, so some of it, you know, I know I've skipped around a little bit, but this is the order that you do it in. And some of it impacts your YouTube rankings, and some of it impacts your Google rankings. And ultimately, what I want you to think of is that everything you do from a YouTube perspective ultimately really impacts your Google rankings. So even though it really helps to drive up your, you know, video, for instance, by getting views or getting embeds, ultimately what we're trying to do is to further our ability to get Google rankings, because we're increasing our channel authority, our video authority, all those sorts of things. So the end game, so to speak, is getting ranked on Google. So don't let this distract you, but these are important steps. So we'll definitely put together a cheat sheet that'll show you step by step, you know, step 1 through whatever 10, do this in this order, and that'll help you. So in this video, we're going to talk about essentially, you know, going out and getting some high authority links to your site with actual keywords. Okay. Now, I will tell you before we move on to that, the embedding that you did in the last video, if you went out and you bought a package of embeds, right, and you do things the way that I taught you, which is essentially inside of your video, remember how we have a link back to our video? And I have not done that yet. I'm going to hit mute on this so it doesn't start playing. But let me just show you real quickly. If we go to our description area, remember how I said you want all these things here because if your video gets scraped, it's going to help your channel, right? Somebody embed your video in their blog to use it for a private blog network. Well, the effect is that you're going to get a link back to your channel, to your Facebook page if you have one, to your Google Plus page, and your video, which I still haven't done. I need to go back and do this part of it. But I would say this video is located at, and I would just grab this URL and put it here. So what I wanted to tell you really quickly is by going out and getting those embeds, right, it's the same thing as that video being scraped and put on a site. It's going on hopefully a high authority Web 2.0 site, or in the case of the video I showed you 100 of them. And each of those embedded videos contains my description, contains all these different elements, contains my keyword of my of the file I uploaded, contains my title tags, all these things, and essentially it's sitting out on that Web 2.0 blog and is sending back links to my video because it's now on 100 different blogs. So my point is in some cases that's all you have to do, you know, and especially when you look at the ones that allow you to do not only the embedded stuff, but also a direct link back to the video from the same site. You're getting two chances basically of getting links back to that video. And you know, sometimes really that's all you have to do. You may not even need to go to this video, this step here that I'm going to talk about, but it doesn't hurt, and can only really help you. And it's very inexpensive because for the most part, for very low competition keywords, you're just going to be buying a Fiverr gig again. And you know what you'd want to do is try to search for, let's say, like high PR links. PR is just page rank, which is, you know, if you're not familiar with it, it's just Google's calculation of the authority of a website, and it looks at other links pointing to the site. How authoritative are the links pointing into that site, and it'll assign a page rank to the main site based on the other types of links, the quality of them, not necessarily the numbers of links anymore, although that does factor in somewhat, but it's more the quality of the links that will drive up a website's page rank. So what I want you to do when you go to Fiverr is have your bullshit meter on, okay, at all times. And I know it sounds funny, but I mean it with all sincerity. Have a serious bullshit meter on at all times, because people will say, "I'll give you, 50 PR10 high page rank backlinks." Well, that's not going to happen. There just aren't that many PR10 sites out there. So what this guy's probably doing is, he's saying that he's going to give you PR10, which may be the page rank of the main domain itself. But once he creates a profile on there, that profile PR is going to be, NA or 1 or 0 or something much lower. So he might be, going out to say like blogger.com or even YouTube or something and creating, 50 links back to your video. And that's meaningless, really. Because those inner pages that he has to create in order to get your link dropped on there is not going to be a PR10. It's just not going to happen. So what I would urge you to do is just look through here, put on your BS meter, and try to find things where it's not people trying to spam the crap out of the site, where they're not saying like this guy's saying I'll create PR9 Panda Penguin Save. What I would avoid doing is the ones that are trying to sell massive amounts of links, or even smaller amounts like 30 of PR9. That just doesn't happen. What I would look for are realistic types of offers where somebody's going to say, I'll submit it to, here. So this one might be good. 3 different EDU blog posts. Another one I would look for is stuff like this where people are being more honest, PR 5 to 8 social bookmarking. Or, look for, I will manually build, 4 PR 2 through 5 links, for instance. Or I will give you a homepage link, one homepage link on a PR5 website. So I don't have time in this video to really go through and search through all these providers. But you definitely are going to want to try to find 1 or 2 of these different gigs and see which ones work for you. And just be careful. You don't need massive amounts of links for local. Okay. You need somebody who's going to build 3 links or maybe 10 links or maximum 30 links with, PR probably 0 to 3 or 4 is totally fine. Because what we're doing here is we are hedging our bets a little bit. We've gone out, we've done all this other stuff, and, most likely just doing the embeds alone on authoritative Web 2.0 sites is going to have the effect of pointing back a bunch of links to our video, and our video is going to rank, and along with all the other tactics that we've gone over. But we're sort of hedging our bet here that we may need a little additional boost here for some higher competition local keywords. And again, it won't hurt as long as you just really use your head and don't try to buy massive amounts of links, don't buy services where people are saying it's going to be PR10 or PR9. Try to find limited amounts, somewhere between 5 and maybe 30 links, and that's it. Basically, you just have to check them out. Now, what I can tell you is once you're inside, is where the rubber meets the road. So let's say you find something that meets that description where somebody says, I'll create 5 manual homepage PR 0 through 3 links. and they're contextual, for instance. Maybe they let you submit an article, or they go out and they grab an article somewhere. So meaning that link is going to appear in context, which is pretty important actually. It actually boosts the authority of a website and can help boost the authority of your YouTube video. So let's say you find a good one, a good offer. Go ahead and order it and check it out. Now, what I will tell you is you want to work with the people who allow you to vary your keywords. So once you get inside to the ordering process, they will ask you, for your link, which is going to be your YouTube video. And if they will only allow you to have one keyword, be kind of wary. You can, so with websites, that would be a big no-no right now. You can get an over-optimization penguin penalty very quickly by repeating your keywords, sometimes even once. So when I say that, I mean my anchor text keyword that I'm trying to rank for is Irvine divorce attorney, divorce lawyer, Irvine, California, and then some variations of that based on my description. So my anchor text would be Irvine divorce attorney. Now, if this was a website and I went out and 30 different times have links on 30 different sites that say Irvine divorce attorney, guess what's going to happen? My website's going to get clobbered with a penguin penalty, and I'm going to drop out of the rankings because I've over optimized off page, right? So I've gone out and I've created links, anchor text links back that are too closely match my title tag. And we don't want to do that. We want to have our title tag, but then we want to have variations of anchor text. So I might have where to find the best Irvine divorce attorney, working with an Irvine divorce attorney, divorce attorney law in Irvine, California. So you get the picture. You want to mix it up, have your keywords in there, but make them very long tail. You can also use latent semantic indexing, so related keywords. Things like, let's see, what's a synonym for a divorce attorney is a family law attorney. So maybe you just have one of your links be family law attorney in Irvine, California. Well, Google's not stupid. They understand that's related to Irvine divorce attorney and actually reward you for that because you're not over optimizing for the same keyword Irvine divorce attorney over and over. So my point is, find a provider inside of Fiverr that will allow you to do that and pick up, it doesn't take many links. Again, pick up somewhere between maybe 3 links and 30 links, okay? No more, I would say no more than that. I don't even think you would need more than probably 10 pretty high authority links max. Once you get inside the ordering process, again, you need to assess what they're allowing. If they say, send me your keyword, and they only allow one keyword, I would talk to the provider first, see if they will allow you to do different variations of keywords. And if they don't, either abandon the gig and don't use it at all and you're out $5, no big deal. Maybe ask for a refund. Just, let them know you didn't understand the terms very well. And maybe they give you a refund. But I find that most providers are usually pretty willing to vary the keywords. So what you would do is you would look at the number that you're ordering. Let's say it's 5, and you're going to come up with 5 variations of the keyword you're trying to rank for. And again, maybe one of them is an LSI keyword like Irvine family law attorney. And the rest of them are long tail versions, where to find an Irvine divorce attorney, how I found the best Irvine divorce lawyer. I would never just use the word Irvine divorce attorney. Now, I'm being cautious. There are people out there who say it doesn't matter with YouTube, that you can really spam the crap out of it and use the word Irvine divorce attorney over and over and over again. And to some extent right now that's true. But I'm trying to future-proof you and your business, just like I do my own business, by being careful. By not, going out and repeating myself over and over, because I know that, with Penguin, with websites, that will kill your website. And I strongly believe it's only a matter of time before Google introduces a similar algorithm on YouTube where you can get over-optimized very, very easily. So, you don't need to spam the shit out of these things with 1,000 links. And now there are people out there that will say the opposite, and I've seen them get great results, really great results. In fact, we're going to have somebody in local client takeover in the future that's going to teach a GSA training that will show you how to get really killer results with using GSA, which is basically a tool that'll go out there and build links, and it'll essentially scrape data off the web to figure out what are the best places to build links, and then go out there and build them for you. And if used correctly, you can get lots and lots of these keywords ranked, right? What I'm showing you here is the manual process, how you can do things step by step manually and still get really good results and get ranked for a lot of keywords. Now, you can take things to the next level with something like GSA, if done correctly. If you don't spam the shit out of everything, and you're not trying to get thousands of links for 3 or 4 different keywords. You're repeating the keyword over and over again. So we're going to have somebody come in and do a GSA training for you at a later point. But for now, I'm teaching you manually what you would do. Okay, so set aside the fact that GSA could work for you and could allow you to go out and build lots of different links and get one video ranked for 50 keywords, for instance. For now, what you need to do really is just go out and buy a Fiverr gig. And what I like to do typically is I'll mix it up a little bit. I'll try to buy a small package of links where it's maybe, like I said, 3 to 5 higher PR links with somebody who's making realistic statements and obviously has a high rating, all that stuff. And again, who will allow you to choose your keywords, and you would just hand them over your 5 variations of your keywords, never repeating yourself, and that's it. And they'll go out and they'll build those links for you, and they usually will send you a report, and that's all well and good. The next thing I would do is I like some variation sometimes, and I've seen this work a few different times actually with local. There's some providers who will provide links on other types of sites that are not necessarily Web 2.0. They're not necessarily high PR sites where they're building something inside of an article. Maybe it's in a blog roll, for instance. And a lot of people will discount the use of a link in a blog roll or a footer. And yeah, it's less powerful, but it provides diversity. What I'm trying to do is, show that, show Google, show YouTube that my link is appearing across all sorts of different sites, all these different Web 2.0s with my embeds, several high page rank authority types of sites within content or contextual articles. So in other words, if it's about divorce, it's sitting inside of a divorce article and has one of my keywords like where to find an Irvine divorce attorney. Oh, and by the way, I have some sitting inside of on a blog roll or a footer link or something like that. Now again, it may be overkill. Just depends on how hard it is to rank. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll wait it out a little bit. I'll do the steps that we've talked about in the first 7 videos or so and never even get to this step, because if I wait a week or two and see what effect the video embeds have, sometimes that's enough to get me up to page 2, sometimes page 1, and then in the last video, that tactic I've been talking about, I'm going to show you how you then get that thing moved over to page 1 very quickly. So I may never need this step at all. So it's really just your comfort level. I typically will take it anyway because it's not going to hurt as long as you, again, choose wisely. Don't choose the packages where they're saying they're going to put you on PR10. Not that this will hurt you, it's just that it's probably BS. It's the main site's PR10 and the actual link where is going to be on a different profile page, an inner page of that site somewhere that is brand new and has absolutely zero value. So look at things with a very careful eye to make sure that A, it's not BS, or B, that it's not so overblown that it's just unnecessary. Like this guy's trying to get, let's say 15,000 links. Well, these are GSA 15,000 links, so this might be okay. You might check that out. It's kind of a high number for local, 100 PR6 to 10 blog posts. But then what he's doing is he's taking GSA as a tier 2, meaning he's pointing those links at his tier 1 links where your video or your link to your video is sitting, and he's pumping up the authority of those. So this one might be an okay thing. My only concern would be that there's 100 of them, which is a little bit overkill for video. I'd find something like this, but maybe there's 5 or 10 or 30. Okay, and then diversify, maybe buy one more gig where somebody drops your link on an EDU blog, or drops your link in a blog roll somewhere that's a higher authority blog roll. I will mention really quickly, for peskier types of videos that are just not moving, because the competition level is high. Let's say you're in Los Angeles or New York, and let's say the keyword is New York personal injury lawyer. Well, that's really difficult to get ranked, right? So everything that we've talked about is going to help you, but you may require some extra muscle, so to speak. In cases like that, what I do is I would go out, and I've got my own entire private blog network that I'll use for linking purposes to websites or for videos or whatever. But let's say that you don't have access to that. Well, there's lots of people who will rent you a link on a site like that, or sometimes even do it for a one-time fee, where it sits on the home page and they'll drop an article in there, and now it's on a high authority site, and maybe you pick up a couple of those. And again, you always vary your anchor text. So if it's New York personal injury attorney, don't keep saying New York personal injury attorney. Don't always go after the exact title that you're, or keyword you're trying to go after. Use variations. But keep in mind that for the really kind of harder keywords, very high competition keywords, you could go through all these steps and still have a little bit of trouble with ranking. And the next step, the next level beyond that, is to reach out to people who have some high authority private blog network types of sites, and rent a link or buy a link from them. And what I would say to do is make sure that they're not just dropping a link in the middle of nowhere, right on the site. Make it be contextual, meaning that it's inside of an article about whatever it is your client does. If they do air conditioning repair, the article should be about air conditioning repair on the PBN post, private blog network post, and your link should be on there. And maybe ask them also to embed the video if they're willing to do that. So you'd have anchor text from a high authority site for your client, or you may need several of them. So again, it all depends on what you need. Okay. So as far as Google's concerned, that's it. That's all you have to do. Really just, go out and make sure that you bookmark the site like we talked about. The embedding, while it mostly helps your YouTube ranking, really, if you do things correctly the way that I taught you, with the description, with your video URL appearing in there, and your YouTube channel URL appearing in there, those embeds are going to have the effect of driving backlinks back to your site as well. And then what you're going to do is just go and get some higher authority versions of that, where it's not really going to be an embed of your video. It's going to be an actual anchor text link back to your video, which will have the effect of starting to rank it for that keyword and variations of that keyword. So that's really it. In the next video, what I want to do is talk about how to increase the authority of your client's channel through a couple different methods. And this is really important because it's going to make your life so much easier as you go on. If you have a client who wants to do lots of videos, as your channel authority grows, every time you add a video to it, boy, it's so much easier. You upload it and instantly you're number one, and stuff starts ranking on Google right away. So don't skip this step. So in the next video, we're going to talk about how to do that. Okay, so I'll see you over there.